Hi, I'm John Hart, and I'm here today with my friend Vanessa Quintero. She's a friend of mine from the gym, and I've really been interested in Vanessa's story, and I hope some of you guys today will get a lot out of listening to some of the things that Vanessa and myself talk about. She's been down a unique road, and at the same time, it's got some commonalities with a lot of people and the paths that they've gone on. And certainly, Vanessa's told her story online through her own Instagram, her own YouTube, and I'll put that information right across the bottom of the screen for you. You want to get in touch with Vanessa there and see more about her. But, today I was really led to ask her about her journey, where she's come from. She's 24 years old right now, and I know as a younger girl that there was an eating disorder of sorts involved in her life, and now fully recovered from such a situation. She's really, really in a happy, I hate to use a cliche phrase, a happy place. One of the happiest people that I know. Seems very, very beautiful, obviously, self-confident, in a great, great place, and helping others. That's the other thing. She's helping others. When Vanessa speaks and she tells her story through, I'm doing all the talking right here. Say hello.
Hi, I just want to add something that exactly everything that he said. I truly feel now, looking back on my path and my journey, that I went through that just for the reason for me to be able to help other people.
Well, yes, I agree. That's exactly right. So here we are sitting here today. As I said, I was led to have her come on, sit down with me, and just for us to have a conversation. I don't know if there's somebody out there really that needs to hear this right now, or many somebodies, but it's just beautiful to see somebody who's recovered, come from a place that was unhealthy, and recovered and actually is involved in the fitness industry, works out very, very hard, eats right. I didn't even ask you. Oh, she's going to share her eating near the end of this. We'll get there too. But has done such a good job of it and is a great example for others. So Vanessa, today we're going to go through, basically I like to handle it in like 3 phases of, when you went through all the majority of the trigger point that you remember that just got you at the beginning of the high school age years to go down a different path, let's say, and then how you recovered from it, and then the complete healing from all of that as well. So please share with us, you were what, 13 years old, you've told me? I'm working off my notebook too, by the way. I have notes galore right here, a couple pages, so.
Keep this on track.
Yes.
Yeah, I was completely healthy, happy, bubbly person in 8th grade. And I remember going into high school, you already had that transition of going from, that comfortable space where, you have your group of friends and everything, and you have everything going for you. And then it's like, oh, you're into this huge sea of people and opportunities and things. Of course, that's already, a change as it is.
Right.
And so you're vulnerable at that point, and I feel like I didn't have a specific focus or any really goal that I was going for. I was just kind of like, I allowed myself just to be thrown into the mix. And I feel like when you're kind of just thrown in, you can kind of go anywhere, and that can be positive or negative, because when there's such a big space of unknown, there's so many possibilities, of goodness, but there's also possibilities of not so goodness. And so I was...
You're in an area of being able to be influenced.
Molded into, yeah.
Molded into.
Exactly, a fresh clay at that
point. So tell us, what happened?
Yeah, so I was one day in the locker room at PE with my friend, and we were changing from our regular clothes to PE clothes. And
you were a dancer at the time as well, right? Outside of high school?
Right.
You were a dancer. You've been a dancer for how many years?
Since I could walk.
Okay, so this is a lifetime dancer at that point.
Yeah, and it wasn't getting to the professional point up until my freshman year of high school. So I had known that I was going to be starting to get more professional with it. And I knew that I was a little, you know, heavier than most dancers, how they looked, but I was just, well, this is the way I am type of thing. I was fine, you know, with it at that time. But when that incident happened, that trigger point when I asked my friend how much she weighed, and she told me 104 pounds. And at that point, my, you know, mind just kind of stuck with that. And I made it, I don't know if it's my personality or what, but I will work so hard for something, whether it's healthy or not healthy. So I have that in me already as it is. So I can use that for good or bad. You know, I'm very determined. I will do anything. I know I was like, I'm gonna get a 4.0 all throughout my freshman year. You know, and I did that. I would study, but you know, going back to the trigger points. Yeah, so that's what happened. And from
so there was no dramatic, traumatic, no big incidents, no decades-long incidents, no negative input thrown into you. It was just a thought.
Yeah, healthy parents, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I know her parents.
Yeah.
They were very nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was just a thought.
Okay, so it was just you accepted a thought that you should be that weight, and you're going to go for it. You've used the phrase with me before about having polarized thinking, and that really is a significant phrase because, you know, a lot of bodybuilders, and, you know, lifelong adult, you know, my entire adult life being a bodybuilder, very polarized thinking at times. You know, got to compete, got to get in shape, you know, all that diet, 90% of my adult life, all of that. So when you have that polarized thinking, whether you're talking about getting straight A's in a class or you're talking about succeeding at a career,
there's like no way. It's either this or you fail.
It's either this or that, right, or you
That's
fail.
how my mindset was.
Okay, so take us along. So this girl just told you her body weight, and you liked the way she looked, obviously, at the time.
And I said, well, I can do the same thing. And I was like, watch, you know, actually, this is all internal dialogue, by the way. I was like, you know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And it started off healthy at first. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It started out healthy at first. It was me, you know, telling my mom actually that I want to lose weight, and she like supported me with it. And she was just like, okay, you know, we adjusted the diet, have a little less rice for dinner, have more protein and that such. And
your parents are in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
They're both lifelong bodybuilder, fitness people. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was dancing at the time, so, you know, calories out, you know, easy, healthy way to lose weight, but it wasn't fast enough for me.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Very impatient. It wasn't fast enough. I wasn't seeing results that I wanted to see, so I got on my laptop and I researched how to lose weight fast. And that's where all the articles just came up. Even these really unhealthy pages that are like #Finspo.
Wow.
It's basically inspiration for, like, it just has really these images of sick, emaciated looking, you know, people, and that's
emaciated.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, it's that inspiration that people get from looking at the picture, you know, like motivation, I guess, to look like that. And that all came up, and so it was just from there, I just down the rabbit hole. Like it was just like no sugar, no salt. So I made rules for myself. I made rules. I said that I wasn't going to have any salt, no sugar, no processed foods at all. And this is in high school, by the way, my freshman year. So you're surrounded with that, you know, like football games, no. And then I also removed myself from all connection. So I not only starved myself of actual nutrients, I starved myself of relationships and connection. Because,
that type of connection.
Because my friends would invite me somewhere where to eat. Can't, you know?
Right.
So I don't want them to think, why isn't she eating? Why is she just eating salad? You know, so they caught on. So a year went by and I would just be, you know, isolated and trying to reach this goal of mine, and I ended up getting there to 104 pounds.
So all within 1 year, you dropped down to 104?
Oh, no, that was within months.
Okay.
That was less than a year.
So within months, you're down at 104
Very
pounds,
healthy,
and we'll share the pictures, you know, with the listeners, with the viewers.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So, I was just...
And you're still dancing. This is going on, in freshman year, you hit 104.
Yeah.
So now you went through high school at what size? At what weight? Around?
It would fluctuate between, that was my lowest 104, and then it would go to like 106, and then I would like, oh, I can't, so it would go lower and higher.
So this is something that you went through all through.
Yeah.
So freshman, senior, sophomore, junior, and you're dancing the whole way through. and your parents through this process?
I remember one time, I was probably a sophomore, and I went to go throw something away in the kitchen, and I heard my mom kind of like sniffling, or kind of like sounded like she was crying. So I went to the dining room where she was, and she had a napkin there, and she was kind of like crumbled it up as she saw me pass, and I looked at her and said, well, what are you doing? Like, what is that? And I remember I think it was one of the warmer months, and I was like loaded in layers because I was freezing. Of course, when you're very under body weight, you're always cold.
Metabolism is just...
Yeah, like brittle nails, my hair was falling out, and everything. I remember just being like covered in layers, and asked her like, what was she doing? And she showed me the napkin, and she had calculated the calories that I had eaten that day. And then it brought her to tears because she knew, that this was my thing of eating healthy and trying to lose weight went about for a year, that she thought I was doing it the healthy way, and
right.
She kind of caught on that it wasn't healthy at all.
And how low did you go?
So it was 200 calories.
Wow.
In a day.
200 in a day.
In a day.
And now,
what was dancing?
And you just mentioned what was your image, your goal? At one point, you shared with me, share with them as well, that you were looking at what cheekbones. What you liked? What?
It was funny because on my dad's side, it's like a genetic thing where we have, it's not like a double chin, but it's just more of like I call it like a frog type of thing going on right there, where it's like, and it took me, I just didn't like it at all. All my dad's family members have it, and I didn't like it because I thought it looked like a double chin. So I was like, I want defined cheekbones, defined jawline. And I said I wanted really thin, lean arms. I wanted thin thighs where they didn't touch when I stood up. I wanted them to be like stick thin. I want to have a flat stomach so that when I sat down, like nothing rolled over. Like very specific, very detailed. I remember writing it down, and this is where I also say like how powerful your mind is, and if you believe in the law of attraction, or if you believe in other types of thought processes like that. Like I wrote what I wanted down, and I worked for it, and of course you're gonna get it. I mean,
Okay, so
a goal. It wasn't just a good goal, but I still worked for it, and I got it.
And when I asked you originally, after seeing a few of your videos, and we follow each other on Instagram, and seeing your Instagram, it made me ask you the question, well, what was this? And you said it was a thought process, but you used a specific word. Yeah. You said you were misaligned. So it was a misaligned thought process, right? That along the way was manifesting itself in the physical. I mean, you were having physical manifestations
of that one misaligned thought.
All it was a thought. You get no dramatic, traumatic situation, but just a thought. And you believed it, though.
And I ran with it.
And you ran with it.
And that's the power of belief, how strong it is,
Right.
One little tiny thing, power of belief, this whole,
All right, so now take us forward. It's, you're going through high school as a dancer. Your parents kind of caught on, something's not right, and there were some incidents with them, but then, as loving parents would, right?
Of course.
But then, as you got towards your senior year in high school, your mom had a conversation with you. Was your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Okay. So, and what happened?
So she just told me, she kind of took something that I cared about most, which was dance. And she said, in the most loving way that she knew at the time, she said that if you didn't get your health back together, that you wouldn't be able to dance anymore. And in my mind, it was very like, all I saw was this or that, and I'm like, okay. And then
very polarized of you. Polarized thinking again.
And I'm just like, oh gosh, like I have to do this. So I did whatever it took. So I remember being so uncomfortable eating, you're talking like a whole cup and a half of cashews in one sitting, a whole box of wheat thins, like just like anything and everything. I'd have like 2 servings of everything, and I just had to do it so I could keep my dance back, to get my dance back. And I did, again.
So how long did it take you to reverse all of this, to get that body weight up a little bit? 2 months.
To go from 104 to 145.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, health-wise, I'm not being rude or crude, but your mom, was specific with things about you, like your female reproductive, everything had to come back into alignment, like you lost your period at one point, right? I'm just, this is the truth.
Well, just so you can see how damaging it is,
Right.
Yeah.
And so she based it on you having better health overall, seeing that you're eating, but also that you had put on a little bit of body weight.
Yeah.
Right? So how much did you put on, by the way? Do you remember?
Well, it was from 104 to 145.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
104 to 145. So that's
Yeah.
like 40 pounds.
And it was like 2.5 months. It was something crazy like that. So I never got therapy. I never got proper healing. It was just like, you better hurry up and gain your weight back or else you can't dance.
Okay. So just in the physical realm,
So
you just...
in the physical realm, I just had to get my weight back. I did. I got my period. Everything was fine. So
Right. Now, you mentioned something as well. When we originally talked about this, you said that during that period when you were starting to recover,
Mhm.
that you felt that just God had given you
Oh yeah.
the direction, not just that initial, because that is in a way it's unhealthy. Put 40 pounds on in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's not exactly healthy either. It's just extreme thinking.
Well, when after I gained that weight back and I felt uncomfortable, was then after when I was guided by, I felt God was guiding me, and like my spirit guides and my like team of divinity was saying, okay, well, there's a healthier way to do this.
Right.
So I just had like these tips come to me, and I didn't look it up. I didn't read a book. Again, I didn't have any therapy, anything. But I basically did what you would do in a recovery home.
You found this out later.
Yeah, I found this out later because I just did. But at the time, it was God was speaking through me and telling me to do these things, and I did them, and that's how I, recovered physically.
So besides the increase in food, obviously,
Yeah.
so
was,
I wrote down specific words in our original conversation, like self-care.
well, that's what I was about to say. It was a ton of self-care. Like,
Right.
I would spend probably 15 minutes in the morning sitting in front of the mirror with like 15, 20 post-it notes. And also, I didn't mention to you, but at this point, I started my Instagram.
Mm.
That was when I started. And I gained probably 1,000 followers within the first week, just because it was a recovery blog type of thing.
Mm.
And there was so many girls going through the same thing, so many young girls at the time that I was that were going through the same thing. And for them to see someone their age going through the same thing, to see them all of a sudden having this like switch of, I want to get better, because happiness is so much better than having a thigh gap, or happiness, like this feeling of complete bliss is so much better than having a flat stomach. Like, yeah, I have a roll, but I mean, I'm so happy. I have friends. I have, all of this.
Right.
So for them to see that, I think that's what basically started my whole journey of, wow, I'm actually here to heal myself and then to help heal others.
Right.
Yeah. So I would sit in front of the mirror and I had these, now I know they're affirmations. They're called affirmations, but I know that at the time. So I would write, even though I may not feel it right now, I am beautiful. Stick it on the mirror. In a few weeks, I will be able to really feel good in my skin, sitting in the mirror, and I would write all these, what I liked about myself. I have pretty hair. I would stick whatever I could find, the littlest thing. I like how I laugh. I'd put that on there, whatever it would. And I would sit there in front of the mirror and 15 minutes, in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and just drill that in my mind, because
you say these things.
Yeah, I would
you
say
hear
these
yourself saying
I would
these
say
things
these
too.
things, and I would look in the mirror and try my hardest to believe it.
Well, I have to tell you honestly, to tell you that as a believer, I have to tell you that I do believe that God was speaking to you, because that kind of instruction,
like guidance, you don't just get.
No, you don't get that off the street. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now. So that's beautiful.
And all my followers are asking, like, what books are you reading? I don't know. I'm not reading any books, and I couldn't tell them. Like, I mean, they couldn't. And I just said, this is what I've been guided to do, and I would also really help myself with getting the foods back in that I was afraid to eat, because I would gain weight. So I would, sit there and actually bless my food before, and I would say that this food is actually going to nourish me. It's going to make me feel energized so that I can help other people, or it's going to make me, I literally saw the food as this, not as calories anymore. I didn't see it as sugar or carbs or macros at the time. I didn't see any of that. I saw it as complete nourishment from God, keeping me alive.
How about empowering? Because it sure sounds that way to me.
Yeah.
You changed your view of the food, whole other perspective, which, watch, I'm leading into this now, how it was empowering to you. You totally changed your view of it, refused to think a certain way, which leads me to one of the comments you made when I asked about how did your relationship with your parents change. During that process, you had said that when you changed, you believed you changed. And of course, you did all of that work. You spoke to yourself over and over again.
This is the thing, it's internal work. So you know, when you're working out at the gym, you're working on your bicep, oh, the results are coming out, you see your bicep, you know, your parents, your friends compliment you, you know, you've been looking, working out.
Right.
But no one really sees in the first stages the mental work that's going on. So my parents had assumed that, yeah, you know, she's taking care of herself, maybe, or, you know, of course you don't know. And so I would get a little frustrated because they would treat me as if I was still a caterpillar. That's how I just see it. Like, yeah, like if I was still in that stage. And I would, in my mind, it seemed to me that I said I was just already in such a different mind space, such a different spiritual space, such a different physical space that there was no way for me to go back. And they thought that I could revert back within a day. Right. Because they were such on a physical standpoint, but I was on this more of a spiritual standpoint. And I said...
But you said mental as well.
Yeah.
Your thought, the way you viewed yourself was as a butterfly. You were no longer...
Yeah, I said there's no way that I could, like, if you think about it, there's no way that a butterfly can just, you know, flap its wing one way and then all of a sudden come back to being a
Can't go back in the cocoon.
Like, there's just no way. You know? That's how I felt. I was like, there's just no way. You know, I'm at such a different place now.
Right. Yeah. And so when you went through that, you actually were able to start new relationships, right? Not just your relationship with food and your relationship with Vanessa.
Because I changed the relationship with that alignment that I was telling you about, everything changed.
So no longer misaligned.
With my parents, with food, with exercise, with my body, with, you know, everything. No longer misaligned. With my grades even. I was like, it's okay if I get a 96%. It's fine. You know?
It's not perfect.
It's fine.
I get you. So you go through high school, you have this recovery, okay? And then, you know, I've known you, you know, for quite a few years now, but I saw you in just this recent past, in the last couple of years, in your early 20s. You know, you've written a book, right, with beautiful poetry. Get the book. What's the name of the book?
Flames of an Old Soul.
Flames of an Old Soul. Where can they find this?
Amazon.
On Amazon. Flames of an Old Soul. Beautiful poetry. 100 of them in one book? How many are in one book? Probably about 100. Okay. So, great book, by the way. So, you've written a book. You're an author. Okay. You've been an inspiration to a whole pack of people who are following you on social media. And then you decided to do a fitness show at one point. You decided to do a bikini show.
And again, it worried my parents.
Okay.
You know,
why would it worry your parents, do you think?
You know, and they saw me again, that she can go back to that caterpillar, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh no, because it's just the industry is surrounded by image. You're being judged on your image. Right.
And now I want to insert one, you know, thought process here as well. I was the one who talked to her about doing the bikini show, and it was our show, right? At the time, the WNBF, INBF, LA in Monrovia, California. Vanessa did do our show. She got in very good shape for the show. And my main thing, knowing her history, my main thing was, how many times did I ask you in the beginning, are you okay doing this? And you know what I meant.
Oh, like 3 times a day.
3 times a day. I asked her 3 times a day because I didn't want to be, you know, I was taking you at face value. I knew you to be very honest.
Oh, yes.
So when I asked the question, I expected the answer you gave me was the truth. So, and I saw her healthily, slowly get in better and better shape. So there was never any extreme involved. So you had a nice showing. You're one of the more bubbly personalities on our stage. Probably have one of the better times. Have some great pictures, which we'll show you yet again. And then since that, though, right? Since that time, and this is the really interesting part. I know I'm doing the talking here, but since that time, it's probably the happiest that I've seen you. Not because of the show. I'm talking about in just these recent few months, 6 months later, after the show.
In better shape than when I did the show.
And in better shape. Getting in better shape all the time.
All because of my mindset and all because of self-care and the way that I approach everything now. It's a lot different than when I was approached to do the show. I was so excited about it because I was like, of course, like, why wouldn't I? You know, I dance, I love being on stage. And what I said, I'm not going to get a personal trainer to help me. You know, of course, John helped me within the first few months, like learning exercises, simple things like that. But I didn't do like a nutrition plan or anything. I just did it on my own, and I wanted to do it in a way that was healthy for me, and just to kind of see like where I was. And of course, I wasn't as lean as, you know, I could have been, or I wasn't, you know, as this or that. But I just did it just to do it the first time around, you know, just to have fun. And I did it, and then after...
a great outlook, by
yeah.
the way. Great attitude about it.
Yeah, and then after, I took a few months off kind of thing where I just ate whatever I wanted. I'm vegan also, by the way, so I would just, doesn't mean I didn't eat ice cream or any of that. I would eat vegan donuts, vegan ice cream, vegan pizza, all of that. And then in December, just this past December, I weighed in at my heaviest. And now I don't weigh myself, you know, because I just don't really care about the number, but I weighed myself as at my heaviest.
Okay.
In my entire life. So it wasn't the number that made me change, it was how I was feeling. And so this is where I get to basically how you feel is kind of like the point where you should kind of make changes. If you're, you know, if you're comfortable with the way you are, don't make any changes, right? But if there is something there that you kind of like, okay, I don't really feel, I think that's something healthy, you know, where you can be like, I'm going to change. So I just dove into even deeper self-care, which I didn't think was possible, like really deep, where I would make a whole shift on my nutrition, and I cleaned up my nutrition, and I actually spent more time in the sun, which is interesting.
I saw on your Instagram, you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner out in the sun.
Yeah. And
dancing as you eat.
I feel like we kind of tend to think that nutrition is just food, but it's not. Nutrition is sunlight, it's connections, it's laughter, it's your connection with God, it's all of that. It's not, you know, what fuels you is not just rice.
Well, and the reason, and the real reason why I really wanted to talk with you and share you with people that don't normally get to see you is that your level of happiness and obvious self-confidence, it's soaring right now. In these last few months, it was obvious. And when I would talk with her occasionally, you know, in the gym, it was obvious, not just watching on social media, but it was just obvious to me that something really great's gone on in your life, and that if we had to quantify or had to call a certain part complete healing, or as complete as you could get from, you know, being in that cocoon years ago and being a caterpillar and turning into a full-grown butterfly, right? This is more, at this point in your life, would you say it's getting there, really?
Yeah.
And how many people you have contact with right now get helped by that? And Vanessa's also talking about starting her own exercise class out in the park right now because she has followers that are interested in joining her right now on this journey.
Yeah, and I'm in better shape now than I was, and I feel like it's just because I don't have a specific, oh, I want to get in this shape for this. It was just for the sole reason of feeling good.
Right.
And I feel like you should do that first, and then once you're feeling good, once you're at a good place, you're like, wow, my body's looking really nice. Sure, I'll do the show.
Yes.
Sure, I'll do this competition. Or sure, yeah, let me start training for this because I feel good, and because I feel so good, I want to share that, and I want to do something with it. You know, but if we do it the opposite way of you know, not feeling good, coming from a place of not feeling good, and you do something, it's not going to work out. You're not going to look your best because you don't feel your best.
That's going to be very hollow as well. There's no victory in that whatsoever. So you, at this point in time, have been such a nice inspiration, you know, for others. And I want to point out again that, you know, neither one of us is a therapist, a psychotherapist, or anything like that. You know, we're both in the fitness industry, and we both like helping people, and we're friends. And, you know, Vanessa's friends with my family, and I'm friends with her parents. And, you know, she's done such a great job coming from a place where so many young women and men, you know, don't come back from. They don't. You know, they never come back from it. And you've not only come back from it, but stepped so much further up in your recovery, and now, you know, soaring and helping so many other people willingly through your writing, through your social media, and all of that. And it's honest. You could see it in her eyes. You know, it's honest. And so she's enjoying herself more than ever right now. But I really wanted just to say, you know, you guys that are watching this right now, I know this is, you know, my YouTube channel, Mr. America Heart. I know that you're usually seeing some good bodybuilding things or fitness tips, trainer tips, and all of that. And being led to share someone like a Vanessa with you without knowing your personal story, this is from my heart. When I keep saying, you know, from my heart to you at the end of my videos, this is from my heart, is that I want to have a guest on my channel, such as Vanessa, who, you know, she is not on the big screen. You know, she is not on, you know, big talk shows yet. She's not on there. You know, her book is, you know, it's around the world, you know, but, you know, for someone like Vanessa who has come from where she's come from and can share it right now, just simply because I know her and I want to share her with you, was very important to me, and it was placed on my heart to do this. So if you have any closing words you want to share before we kind of sign off here, please feel free. It's your moment.
Like you said, you know, whoever watches this, whether you're a bodybuilder, whether you're a bikini competitor, or if you're just stumbled across this because you're bored on a Saturday watching YouTube, whatever the case may be, I feel like both of us are here for a purpose, and we both share one higher vision of just inspiring other people through what we've been through, what our friends have been through, and just bringing it to the light. Under my real message is just to really take care of your mental and your spiritual health just as much, if not more, than your physical health. Because once you do that, like I said, you have that feel good, really just internal peace that is unconditional. You don't need any condition, because I'm going to be honest, when I see progress in the gym, I feel good. I feel better, because but that's a condition, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you earn a little more money, that's a condition. You feel better, there's nothing wrong with that, because I feel we're here on this earth to feel good, and that's it, right? And so whatever you think will make you feel good, do it, follow that, but just always come back to that place that you have that without any condition. You can bring that up upon yourself by just simply taking care of yourself, and yeah, your mind is super, super powerful. So,
and I want to point out, Vanessa's mentioned self-care over and over again. She's not being selfish in any of that, because she's turned into a gift to others.
If I'm not taking care of myself, how am I going to take care of anyone
Exactly. Exactly. So I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for watching. Vanessa, I want to thank you for coming on the channel and sharing your time, your energy, your story with us is beautiful. Your energy, especially, and your recovery and where you're heading. You know, I look forward every day that I get to see you. I look forward to the remainder of your story, see where it goes. So thank you for coming on the show with us. From my heart to you, John Hart, have a great day.